Feeling alone tonight, like there's an ache in your heart no one sees? In the quiet of night, that emptiness only grows. But this isn't where your story ends. This sleep meditation was created to help you breathe, rest, and remember you still held and still loved. She didn't choose this life. She was a servant, a stranger, a woman caught in someone else's plan, used, cast out, forgotten, or so it seemed. Her name was Hagar, pregnant, alone, and running into the desert, not to escape God, but to escape people who never saw her worth. But in the wilderness, someone did see her. Not a man, not a master, God. He called her by name. He asked her where she came from and where she was going. And in that moment, she realized she was not invisible. She was not abandoned. She was seen. She named him El Roi, the God who sees me. So if you feel cast aside, if you're walking through your own wilderness, this story is for you. You are not forgotten. You are seen, and the same God who met Hagar in the desert is still finding hearts in hidden places. Time passed, and once again Hagar was cast out, this time with her son, sent into the heart of the wilderness. No shelter, no water, no plan, just heartbreak, dust, and silence. And with trembling lips she wept. But heaven heard. A voice called out, not in anger, not in shame, but with compassion. Fear not, Hagar. God has heard the child's cry. He opened her eyes to a well she hadn't seen before. Provision was there. Hope was waiting, right in the middle of her despair. Her story didn't end in exile. It became a testimony that even in the driest places, God makes streams flow again. So, if you've reached your end, if your strength feels gone, and all you can do is whisper, God help me, then you're exactly where He meets people like Hagar, and He'll open your eyes too. He had just called down fire from heaven, faced off with false prophets, stood bold for God in front of a nation, but now he was running. Elijah fled into the wilderness, not because he didn't believe in God, but because he was tired, afraid, alone. He collapsed under a tree and whispered, "It's enough, Lord. Let me die." But heaven didn't rebuke him. Heaven sent an angel with bread, with water, with rest, and strength for the journey ahead. 40 days later, Elijah found himself in a cave, not to hide from God, but to hear Him. And when the wind tore through the mountains, God wasn't in it. When the earth shook, God wasn't in that either, nor in the fire. Then came a whisper, a still, small voice, and Elijah covered his face because he knew God was near. And in this sacred stillness, God asked him a question, not to condemn, but to reawaken. "What are you doing here, Elijah?" Not because God didn't know the answer, but because Elijah needed to hear it out loud. He poured out his pain, his fear, his loneliness, his weariness. And God didn't dismiss it. He didn't say, be stronger or have more faith. He said, go back. There is still more to do. You are not alone. God reminded him there were still thousands who hadn't bowed to false gods. His purpose wasn't over. His story hadn't ended in the cave, and neither does yours. Let's step quietly into that moment of stillness. Here is a gentle closing reflection inspired by Elijah's cave and the still small voice that met him there. Breathe in and let go of the noise. Breathe out and welcome the silence. You've been running, fighting, carrying more than your heart was meant to hold. And maybe, like Elijah, you found yourself hiding, not out of weakness, but out of exhaustion. But the cave is not the end. It's where the noise finally fades and the whisper of God finds you again. You are not alone. You are not forgotten. You are not finished. Stay here for a moment longer. Let His presence settle over you. Let the whisper speak louder than the storm. If this whispered to your soul, don't let it fade when the video ends. Subscribe to Flowering Faith so you're never alone on this journey. And if you're in a hidden place like Hagar or the cave like Elijah, share your heart in the comments. Someone else might need your story to find their hope again. If this spoke to your heart, don't just scroll on. Subscribe and let's walk this healing journey together, one truth at a time. If this spoke to your heart,